I'm Joanne and welcome to our channel. Holding an asset completes the good investment process. Why is holding an asset, preferably forever, is important? Many investors seem to believe that fiat money that you get for exchanging your asset is the ultimate goal of the investment. I believe fiat money is also one of the assets that we can consider investing, but given that the fiat money will be diluted in the long term, I don't think the fiat money is an asset that is worthy of accumulating in the long run. Rather than selling your asset whenever you feel like, I believe holding on the asset that you believe in is a better choice as an investor. Let me introduce two conditions that I consider when to dispose my assets. Number one, if the cash flow is lower than my expectations, then yes, I will consider selling my investment assets. Underperformance in price does not really matter, but underperformance in cash flow is quite critical. Number two, I can sell the asset when I see a better investment opportunity. Personally, this is the main reason of my asset disposal. Setting clear standards of when to sell your asset is quite important because otherwise you may feel like selling your investments simply because asset price is falling or the market condition doesn't look very good. We don't want to keep throwing away our investments for fiat money, which is value dilutive in long term. Let's talk about holding strategy. In investment world, we often use the wording long position and short position. Long means buy and hold position, while short means sell and do not hold. In other words, long position is strategy for valuable assets, while short position is for the otherwise. If you own a house and you are providing a property to rent, then you are long in property assets. On the other hand, the tenant who are borrowing the property is in short position in property. Taking the same logic to bank lending business. Banks own capital and bank provide the capital so that banks are in long position in capital, while lenders are in a short position of capital. For example, if we are to borrow money from the bank to buy property, then we are shorting money because we are borrowing the money from the bank. Same logic as we are shorting the property assets when we are property tenants. With the borrowed money, we give away the money in exchange for property purchase. In this case, we are shorting money once again to be in long position in property. By borrowing money from the bank and using the money to purchase the property, we are actually shorting the money twice. That's why I call this double shorts. When we use leverage to make investments, we usually end up by double shorting money. What happens if we short money only once? If we borrow money from the bank and do nothing with it, that would be a stupid thing, but there are no risk involved. But when we double short the money and the price of the collateral falls, then it becomes a risk because the leverage ratio will increase, which may end up by losing the collateral assets. Using the leverage to make investment will cause double shorting money in real world, and that's the main risk of the investment. But what will happen if we can borrow other than money with our collaterals? In virtual world, we can borrow, for example, Starbucks stocks using Tesla stocks as collateral. Or we can borrow gold using silver as collateral, for example. Let's say we have crypto asset A, which we think is quite valuable and we want to hold on to it. But at the same time, we want to make cash. Then, in that case, we have three options. Number one, sell asset A to receive cash. Number two, use asset A as collateral to borrow cash. Number three, use asset A as collateral to borrow asset B, then sell B to receive cash. All these options end up with the same result of getting cash, but the underlying process is very different. Selling asset A to receive cash is quite typical, but we don't want to go there because we think the asset A is valuable investment so that we want to hold on to it. The second option will let you keep the asset A, but this will cause a double short and cause the leverage risk. Many investors face the dilemma in the real world with the leverage. The third option is only possible in virtual world as far as I know. You can use asset A as collateral to receive asset B. If the price of asset A falls, then price of the asset B falls. And then the leverage ratio between these two will likely remain unchanged regardless of the price change of each assets. So the investor will be able to much more take control of the leverage risk in this case. This will sound like a very strange because you probably have not really thought about this double short money and stuff. I will recap this strategy once again when we go into crypto asset investment. But meanwhile, give it a thought about the long short position and think about which asset you want to double short to control the leverage risk. Thank you for watching.